Okay, so I'll just give a quick rundown on what I'm using for the stage production of Wicked. So I'm using the Line 6 Helix, which is doing all the amp, sim, cabinet simulator, FX and all that sort of stuff. That'll be running direct into the PA. And then we have for guitars, I've got a Strat electric, 12 string, a Godin nylon and a Martin acoustic 12 string, 6 string. And then over here I've got a 6 string banjo. There is supposed to be mandolin in the show, but I'm not using a mandolin. I'll just play those parts on the 12 string because they're not very important. So on the Helix, I've got guitar coming in over here into the guitar input, acoustics coming in on the auxiliary input. In the one of the effects loops is a pedal, volume pedal, because I don't like the volume pedal on the Helix, so I'm using a separate one. There's also another outboard effect on one of the other loops, which I'm using just the Line 6 M5 because the show calls for a really weird boutique effect called the Seek Wah, which is by VTech, and they're really, really expensive, so I wasn't forking out one of those for a 3-week season. So the M5 just happens to have a simulated Seek Wah effect. So I'm using that in the effects loop, and I've got a button down here that will turn that effects loop on and off. I don't use patches, so the whole show is in one patch, and the acoustic is on its own path, which is down the bottom here. So the electric is the top 3, outputting to left XLR. The bottom is the acoustic, which is literally just a preamp and a reverb, outputting to the right XLR, and the volume is actually just this button here, which is literally turning volume 0 to 100, which is in effect a mute. And that works really, really well. So the other effects that we've got, so it's just a clean amp the whole show, overdrive and distortion, stomp boxes in front of the amp, a lead boost, a swell, which is just some delay and reverb, extra reverb and stuff like that, chorus, tremolo, a rotary effect, the Seek Wah, which is off-board, and then the just a delay pedal. And that's it. So I'll quickly run through a couple of those sounds and you can hear what they sound like. Okay, so here's the electric. I've swapped for the electric that I'm actually using for the show because the one in the stand is the spare. This is my American Strat with Kingman pickups in it. I think it's about like a 2000 model, I think. So the amp on here is just the Fender Deluxe, I think, is the clean amp I'm using. It's just completely clean, there's no drive in it. Bit of overdrive. Distortion on its own. A lot of time I actually use the distortion and overdrive at the same time, just to, because when it's called for in the chart, it's actually quite heavy. And then if I add the lead boost, which is I do a couple of times, the lead boost is some compression, some fairly long delay, and a bit of just a volume jump actually. It doesn't increase any distortion or anything, it just jumps the output volume by 5 dB or something like that. The swell I actually use in conjunction with the EBO, which I'll show you in a second. The swell has some extra reverb, some delay, and I think, I'll just check, I think that's all. And a little bit of compression as well, sorry. So the EBO is used quite a bit in the show. It's written in the chart a fair bit. It's got a little magnet and coil inside which makes the string vibrate. The trick with this is that I'm finding is you've got to get the note ringing first before you do anything and have the volume off. and then fade the volume up once you can feel or get the string ringing under it. Yeah, it's pretty cool when it works. It's a little bit temperamental to get going, and the hard part is I can't read the chart and play it at the same time, so I've got to kind of memorize the patterns if I can, because you've really got to be looking down at the fretboard, because you're jumping. It jumps a lot all the way from down here all the way up to the end and back and around, and you've got to do everything on one string. Yeah, so it is a bit tricky, but it's cool when it works. A couple of times I actually also add distortion with it as well. Turn it on, would help. Of course, it sounds cool when you let it go and the decay keeps going. Chorus. Is used quite a bit. Tremolo's only in one song in Popular. The rotary's only in one song, which is Dancing for Life. Pretty cool. The sequoia, which is the off-board effect, because the Helix unfortunately doesn't yet, this is fairly new and it doesn't yet have that effect being modelled. Yeah, so sequoia. It's actually a wah pedal, or a step wah. So it has different frequencies in a row, and it jumps between each of them and then comes back down again. I think I've got it set to 4. I'll double check. Yeah, so it's got four steps, 4 different frequencies, and it's going up and back really fast. It's used a few times in the show. It's a weird sound, but it's what they wanted, so there you go. Okay, so here's the acoustics. This is the Godin nylon. It's got 2 pickups in it. It's got one on either bridge and one inside, and you can mix between the 2 on here. It's designed to be plugged in, obviously, because there's no sound hole, but it's really nice. Quite cheap, these, and really light, and yeah, great little guitar. And it's made with an electric guitar, because I'm not really an acoustic player, and it's made for an electric person because it's got a much smaller neck. So it's not like a classical, which are hard to play for me. It's really nice. The Martin is... So it's just reverb, basically, on everything. This needs to be restrung, which I'll do tomorrow. It'll sound much better. The 12 string is actually used a little bit in the show. That's actually used with a capo, so I had to get a capo that holds much stronger, because it's used for one short day. And I'm using this because I don't have a mandolin and I don't know how to play a mandolin. I'm using this for the mandolin parts as well, which seems to work okay. In the mix of the band, it'll sound fine. And then just the banjo, which again is a 6-string banjo, so that I don't need to learn how to play a 4-string, which is totally different tuning. And this is only used in a couple of songs in the show. This will have a microphone on it, and be direct to the PA on its own. So that's why I don't have this plugged into the Helix. So yeah, banjo. Yeah, so for the show we run direct to the PA and we have headphones and our own little mixers. So no live sound at all. So that's why I can run everything direct and I don't need an amplifier. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.